The rain-slicked streets of Manhattan gleamed under the sodium glow of street lamps as Benjamin Harper stumbled out of the penthouse elevator, his tuxedo jacket slung over one shoulder like a discarded skin. "You're nothing but a pretty face chasing dollar signs," Samuel's mother had hissed in his ear during the gala's champagne haze, her voice a venomous whisper that cut deeper than the crystal flutes clinking around them. But it was the stranger's hand, firm, possessive, slipping into Samuel's back pocket across the crowded room that shattered everything, a betrayal etched in the flicker of camera flashes, leaving Benjamin's heart a hollow echo in the storm. Benjamin Harper had always believed in second chances, the kind that New York City peddled like hot pretzels on every corner, steaming, salty, and gone before you could savor them. At 32, he was no stranger to reinvention. Born in the Rust Belt grid of Pittsburgh, he'd clawed his way through community college on scholarships and sheer spite, trading steel mill dreams for a beat-up laptop and a one-way Greyhound ticket to the city that never slept. Now, 5 years into a marriage that headlines called the Union of the Century, he woke up every morning in a Park Avenue king-sized bed, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, wondering if love was just another hustle. Samuel Ellis was the kind of man who made headlines without trying. 45, broad-shouldered with salt and pepper hair that photographers loved, he was the heir to Ellis Pharmaceuticals, an empire built on pills that promised to fix what ailed you, broken hearts included, or so the ads claimed. Their wedding had been a spectacle. St. Patrick's Cathedral overflowing with A-listers, tabloids screaming about the power couple who proved love was blind to bank accounts. Benjamin, the struggling graphic designer turned philanthropist arm candy, was the fairy tale's unlikely prince, or so they said. But whispers followed him like shadows in the subway. Gold digger, they'd murmur at brunches in the Hamptons, eyes sliding over his wedding band like it was fool's gold. Samuel's family never hid their disdain. His mother, Evelyn, with her pearl-clutching elegance, treated Benjamin like a charming intern who'd overstayed his welcome. "Darling, charity work is adorable," she'd say over caviar canapes, "but do try to contribute something besides your enthusiasm." His friends, Samuel's friends, really were worse, their laughter laced with pity when they thought he wasn't listening. "Benji's sweet, but come on, Sammy could have anyone." Benjamin swallowed it all with a smile, because what else could he do? Samuel's touch at dawn, fingers tracing the curve of his spine, was worth every sidelong glance. "You're my anchor, Ben," Samuel would murmur into his neck, voice rough from boardroom battles. "In this circus, you're the only real thing." And Benjamin believed him, because belief was the glue holding their fractured worlds together. He poured himself into the Ellis Foundation, turning Samuel's obligatory donations into lifelines for queer youth in the outer boroughs, shelters in Brooklyn, art programs in the Bronx. It was his way of proving he belonged, not just as the pretty husband, but as the man who saw the cracks in Samuel's armor and loved him anyway. That night at the gala, though, the annual Ellis Pharma fundraiser at the Met, cracks turned to chasms. Benjamin had spent hours agonizing over his bow tie in the mirror, Samuel's cologne lingering on his skin from a hurried goodbye kiss. "I'll be late, love. Schmooze for me," Samuel had said, already halfway out the door in his tailored Tom Ford. Benjamin arrived alone, weaving through velvet ropes and air kisses, his laugh a practiced shield against the room's predatory gaze. Evelyn cornered him near the impressionist wing, her martini glass sweating like her disapproval. "Benjamin, dear, have you met the Pattersons? Old money, not like your creative ventures." Her eyes flicked to his cufflinks, a gift from Samuel, as if they were evidence in a trial. He nodded, murmured pleasantries, but his chest tightened like a fist around his ribs. Across the hall, Samuel held court by the Monet, his laugh booming over the string quartet. And there, tucked against his side like a secret, was the stranger. Tall, lean, with cheekbones that could cut glass and eyes like smoked quartz, the man was everything Benjamin wasn't. Effortlessly patrician, his hand lingering too long on Samuel's elbow. Benjamin's stomach plummeted. He knew that look, the subtle lean-in, the shared glance that said volumes. Camera flashes popped like gunfire, immortalizing the trio. Samuel's arm around the stranger, Benjamin hovering on the periphery like an afterthought. He excused himself, fleeing to the balcony where the autumn chill bit through his shirt. The city sprawled below, a glittering beast indifferent to his unraveling. "Get it together, Harper," he whispered to the wind, but tears stung anyway. Back inside, he caught fragments. Alex, brilliant mind, irreplaceable. Samuel's voice, warm with something Benjamin hadn't heard in months. By midnight, the gala devolved into a blur of toasts and tango. Benjamin nursed a scotch, watching as Samuel and the stranger, Alex, he'd gleaned, disappeared into a side alcove. He followed on numb feet, heart hammering a dirge. The door was ajar, voices spilling out like spilled wine. "Can't keep doing this, Sam. It's killing me." Alex's tone was raw, pleading. Samuel's reply was a murmur, too low to catch, but the hand on Alex's shoulder, gentle, intimate, spoke louder than words. Benjamin's world tilted. He backed away, tuxedo jacket slipping from his arm, and bolted for the elevator. The descent felt eternal, each floor a layer of his marriage peeling away. Outside, the rain had turned biblical, soaking him to the bone as he hailed a cab. "Just drive," he told the cabbie, voice cracking. The city blurred past, Times Square's neon frenzy, the Hudson's dark ribbon. But all he saw was that hand in Samuel's pocket, claiming what was his. Gold digger. The word echoed, a cruel chorus. Maybe they were right. Maybe he'd chased the dream too hard, blinded by love's false shine. But as the cab merged onto the FDR, phone buzzing with Samuel's missed calls, Benjamin's resolve hardened. No more pretending. Tomorrow he'd confront it all. The whispers, the stranger, the man he'd vowed to cherish. Because in New York, truths didn't stay buried. They erupted like geysers, scalding everyone in their path. The cab pulled up to their building at dawn, the doorman tipping his hat with a sympathetic nod. Benjamin paid in crumpled bills, his reflection in the lobby mirror a ghost. Eyes red-rimmed, hair plastered like a drowned rat. The penthouse was silent, Samuel's side of the bed untouched. A note on the kitchen island. Board meeting ran late. "Love you. Breakfast at Lou Bernardine?" Benjamin crumpled it, the paper cutting his palm like a promise. Love. What a fragile word. He stripped off his sodden clothes, stepping into the shower's scalding spray. Water cascaded over scars, literal ones from a bar fight in his 20s, defending a drag queen from bigots, figurative ones from years of proving his worth. Samuel had kissed each one, calling him brave. Now bravery felt like a joke. Dressed in jeans and a faded Smith's tee, his pre-Samuel armor. He brewed coffee strong enough to wake the dead. The city stirred outside, horns blaring, joggers pounding pavement. Benjamin scrolled his phone, the gala photos already viral. There he was, smiling hollowly beside Samuel and Alex. Captions speculated. Who's the third wheel in the Ellis love triangle? A knock shattered the quiet. Not Samuel's confident rap, tentative, almost apologetic. Benjamin opened the door to find Alex, drenched from the lobby's awning, his designer coat clutched like a shield. Up close, he was younger than Benjamin thought, maybe 28, with faint lines of exhaustion etching his flawless face. "Can I come in?" Alex asked, voice barely above the rain's patter. Benjamin stepped aside, curiosity warring with fury. "Make it quick. I'm not in the mood for pleasantries." Alex entered like a man walking to his execution, dripping on the Persian rug. He didn't sit, just stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows, gazing at the skyline as if memorizing it. "I'm not here to gloat, or to, whatever you think. Samuel didn't send me." "Then why? Autograph? Midnight snack?" Benjamin's sarcasm masked the tremor in his hands. Alex turned, eyes glistening. "Because you deserve the truth, before it destroys you both." The words hung, heavy as the storm clouds rolling in. Benjamin's pulse thundered. Truth, the one word that could save them or end it all. Alex's confession spilled out in fragments, each one a shard embedding deeper into Benjamin's chest. They sat at the kitchen island, Benjamin on a bar stool, arms crossed like battlements. Alex perched on the edge, fingers twisting a napkin into confetti. The coffee steamed untouched between them, a bitter sentinel. "It started 2 years ago," Alex began, his voice a low tide of regret. "I was fresh out of Wharton, interning at Ellis Pharma. Samuel was magnetic. The way he commanded a room, saw potential in ideas no one else did. He mentored me, pushed me toward the exec track. Late nights in the office turned into dinners. Then, more." Benjamin's jaw clenched, visions of stolen kisses in boardrooms flashing unbidden. "Spare me the romance novel. How long have you been fucking my husband?" Alex flinched, color draining from his cheeks. "It's not God, it's not like that. Not physical. Never was." He met Benjamin's gaze, unflinching now. "Samuel's sick, Ben. Terminal. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4. Diagnosed right after your 3rd anniversary." The air vacuumed from the room. Benjamin gripped the counter, knuckles whitening. "Bullshit. He'd tell me. We tell each other everything." "Would he?" Alex's eyes softened with pity. "The worst kind. Genuine. Think about it. The weight loss you chalked up to stress. The migraines that kept him home. The foundation work. He poured into it because he knew you'd carry on. Make it mean something when he's gone." Memories assaulted Benjamin. Samuel's frame thinning under bespoke suits, his laughter fainter at holiday parties. The late-night calls from clients. When he'd wake to Samuel staring at the ceiling, lost in shadows. "No," Benjamin whispered, denial a reflex. "We got tested together last year. Clean bill." Alex pulled a folded printout from his coat pocket, lab results, stamped with Ellis Pharma's crest. "Private clinic. Off books." He didn't want pity. Didn't want to taint your life with it. His voice cracked. "I'm not his lover, Ben. I'm his confessor. The one person he could unload on without seeing your world crumble." Benjamin snatched the paper, scanning dates, jargon that blurred through tears. June 2023. The weekend they'd renewed vows in the Hamptons. Samuel's eyes misty as he slipped the ring on Benjamin's finger. A lie wrapped in eternity. "Why you?" Benjamin demanded, crumpling the sheet. "Why not me?" "Because he loves you too much." Alex's words landed like a gut punch. Samuel's always been the protector, shielding his family from scandals, his company from falls. With you, it's deeper. You're his redemption, Ben. The kid from nowhere who saw past the money to the man. He couldn't bear breaking that. Rain lashed the windows, mirroring the storm inside. Benjamin paced. The loft's sleek lines, chrome accents, abstract art. Suddenly claustrophobic. And the gala? That hand on his ass? Don't tell me that was platonic pep talk. Alex's laugh was hollow, self-deprecating. "Jealousy's a hell of a drug, huh? Truth? I was desperate. Pushed him into that alcove to beg him to tell you. End it clean," I said. "Let Ben go before it's too late." He shut me down, same as always. Said you'd fight it with him, turn it into some foundation crusade. But I saw your face across the room. God. The hurt. I couldn't let you think that I'm the fool they say I am. Benjamin sank onto the couch, head in hands. Gold digger. The label burned anew, but twisted. If Samuel was dying, their life together was a ticking bomb, not a jackpot. Alex knelt beside him, hesitant. "You're no gold digger. You're the gold, Ben. The foundation saved lives. Queer kids like you were, lost and angry. Samuel brags about you in meetings, calls you his North Star. That's why the family's venom stings extra. They see a man who's everything they aren't. Real, resilient." Benjamin looked up, searching Alex's face for deceit. None. Just exhaustion, the weight of secrets too heavy for one soul. "What now?" I confront him, we cry. "Cue the violins. Or you run." Alex stood, shrugging on his coat. "But that's not you. Samuel needs your fire, Ben. To rage at the unfairness, to love him fierce till the end. And when it's over, you'll have built something unbreakable." The door clicked shut behind him. leaving Benjamin adrift in silence. He uncrumpled the lab report, tracing Samuel's signature. Bold, unyielding, lies by omission, betrayal in the name of love. His phone buzzed. Samuel, texting hearts and home soon. Miss you. Benjamin typed back, we need to talk. Then deleted it. No. This truth demanded face-to-face, raw and unfiltered. Hours blurred. He wandered the loft, touching relics. The framed photo from their first date at Coney Island, cotton candy stuck in Samuel's beard. The leather-bound journal where Benjamin sketched foundation logos, Samuel's doodles in the margins. By noon, the doorman rang up. Samuel early, bearing bagels and that boyish grin. Hey, handsome, Samuel said, pecking his cheek. Rough night? You look like you wrestled a taxi. Benjamin studied him. The faint hollows under his eyes, the vibrancy a mask. Something like that. He set the bagels down, heart a war drum. Who's Alex? Samuel froze, color leaching from his face. The charade cracked. Ben, Save it. I know. Benjamin's voice was steel, laced with grief. Cancer. 2 years. And me, the oblivious husband, playing house. Samuel deflated, sinking onto a stool like a puppet with cut strings. How? Doesn't matter. Why? Tears welled, hot and unbidden. I'm your husband, Sam, not some fragile ornament. Samuel reached for him, but Benjamin stepped back. Because I couldn't watch you shatter. You've fought so much, your family's rejection, the city's grind. This is a thief in the night. I wanted our time left to be golden, not gray. Golden. Benjamin's laugh bordered on hysteria. You think hiding it makes it pure? It makes me the idiot they call me. A gold digger chasing illusions. Samuel's eyes widened, pain mirroring his own. Who said that? No one. Everyone. Benjamin paced, words tumbling. Your mother at every dinner. The post-society pages. And now this, your confessor holding your hand while I play the fool. Alex is nothing, Samuel insisted, voice breaking. A colleague. A friend who cornered me last night, demanding I come clean. I shoved him away. Ben. Swear it. The alcove flashed, guilt not guilt. Benjamin's resolve wavered. Then why the secrecy? We vowed no walls. Samuel stood, closing the distance. His hand cupped Benjamin's jaw, thumb brushing a tear track. Fear. Plain and selfish. Afraid you'd leave, find someone whole. Afraid I'd drag you down. His voice dropped to a whisper. But you're my everything. The man who taught me love isn't a transaction. They collided then, not in anger but collapse. Arms wrapping, sobs mingling with the rain's rhythm. I'm not leaving, Benjamin murmured into Samuel's shoulder. But no more lies. We fight this together. Doctors, trials, all of it. Samuel pulled back, eyes searching. Together. Damn right. Benjamin kissed him, fierce and forgiving. You're stuck with me, Ellis. Gold digger or not. Laughter bubbled through tears, a fragile bridge. But as they held on, Evelyn's voice echoed from the gala. Pretty face chasing dollar signs. The fight was just beginning. Not just against the disease, but the world's judgment, the family's thorns. That afternoon they called Alex. Join us, Samuel said into the speaker. No more shadows. Alex arrived with takeout tie and a tentative smile. Over pad CEW, walls crumbled. Stories flowed. Alex's closeted youth in Connecticut. Samuel's first love lost to AIDS in the 90s. Benjamin shared his Pittsburgh scars. The father who disowned him at 16. The nights sleeping in library stacks. Bonds formed, tentative but true. A triad not of romance, but resilience. Yet doubt lingered. As night fell, Samuel asleep against his chest, Benjamin stared at the ceiling. Truth revealed, but at what cost? The foundation beckoned, a beacon amid the storm. Tomorrow he'd rally pressers, fundraisers, a war chest against the invisible enemy. But whispers waited in the wings, ready to pounce. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of sterile white corridors and second opinions, the kind of frenzy that made New York feel small. Memorial Sloan Kettering became their second home. Infusions dripping like 4 lifelines, oncologists with clipboards barking stats that blurred into white noise. Benjamin threw himself into the fray, his graphic design eye turning treatment plans into visual roadmaps. Timelines pinned to the fridge, mood boards for good days. Samuel teased him about it. My own Picasso of pain. But the gratitude in his eyes was a bomb. Publicly, they spun it masterfully. Samuel's press release hit the wires. A personal battle, a collective fight, with the Ellis Foundation front and center. Donations surged. Queer orgs from Fire Island to Hell's Kitchen pledging support. Benjamin keynote at galas, his voice steady as he shared snippets. Love isn't about perfection. It's about showing up when the lights dim. Applause thundered. But backstage, Evelyn waited like a storm cloud. You've turned my son's illness into your circus, she accused one night, cornering him in the hospital lounge. Her lipstick was a slash of crimson, eyes narrowed to slits. The cameras love you, Benjamin. But when the checks clear, what then? He met her gaze, unflinching. When the checks clear, we save lives, Evelyn, including queer ones you pretend don't exist in your world. She recoiled, but the barb landed. Whispers evolved. Not just gold digger, but opportunist, parlaying tragedy for clout. Tabloids ran sidebars, Ben Harper, from barista to benefactor, complete with old photos of him slinging lattes in Chelsea. Samuel raged at the headlines, but Benjamin waved them off. Fuel for the fire, he'd say, though nights brought doubts, dreams of empty beds and echoing lofts. Alex became the unexpected anchor. No longer the interloper, he was the third wheel that steadied the bike, coordinating schedules, cracking dark jokes during chemo waits. Remember when Sam tried kale smoothies? Thought he'd puke rainbows. Laughter echoed in sterile halls, a rebellion against the beeps and charts. One crisp November afternoon, they escaped to Central Park. Samuel insisted, bundled in a cashmere scarf Benjamin had knit. Lopsided, but his. They fed ducks by the Bethesda fountain, Alex snapping candids on his phone. For the archives, he said, winking. Samuel leaned into Benjamin, breath warm against his ear. This is why I hid it. Moments like these stolen but ours. Benjamin squeezed his hand, rings glinting in the sun. No more stealing. We claim them all. But claims came with costs. That evening, back in the loft, Samuel collapsed mid-sentence, pain etching his features like acid. Benjamin called 911, heart in his throat as paramedics swarmed. Our lights harsh, doctors murmuring. Progression. Palliative options. Alex arrived disheveled. Ty Askew from a red-eye from D.C. What do we do? He asked, voice small. We fight dirtier, Benjamin said, channeling Pittsburgh steel. He pulled strings, Samuel's clout opening doors to experimental trials at Johns Hopkins. Flights booked, bags packed. But Evelyn intercepted at the airport, her lawyer in tow. This is madness. Sign the DNR, Samuel. Spare us the spectacle. Samuel's laugh was a rasp. Mother, your spectacles are the ones with spotlights on pity. Ben's giving me hope. That's not for sale. She stormed off, but her parting shot lingered. He's using you, darling. Always has. The trial was a gauntlet, Baltimore's gray winters mirroring their moods. Injected hope clashed with side effects. Nausea that bent Samuel double, neuropathy numbing his fingers. Benjamin read to him from dog-eared sci-fi, voices for aliens and heroes. Alex flew in weekends, bearing contraband barbecue from a Bronx hole in the wall. Soul food for the soul. He'd quip, though his eyes betrayed the toll. Intimacy shifted, tender rather than torrid. Nights tangled in hospital sheets, Benjamin tracing Samuel's fading tattoos. A rainbow flag inked in Provincetown, a testament to 80s defiance. You were brave before it was cool, Benjamin whispered, kissing the ink. Samuel's hand trembled in his. And you, my brave boy, turning pain to purpose. But purpose cracked under pressure. A leaked email, Evelyn's doing? Hit TMZ. Ellis airs, Husband Eyes Foundation Control Post-Death. The board convened emergency sessions, suits circling like vultures. Benjamin testified via Zoom, voice raw. This isn't about control. It's about legacy. Queer lives mattering, not just in tragedy, but triumph. Votes swung narrow, he stayed on. Victory tasted like ash. That night, alone in a motel while Samuel slept medicated, Benjamin called his sister in Pittsburgh. Lila, the one family tether. Am I the villain here, Lil? Chasing ghosts. Her paws stretched oceans. Nah, Benny, you're the heart. But hearts break. Be ready. Break they did. February brought a scan. Tumors shrinking, a sliver of remission. Celebrations erupted. Champagne in plastic cups. Alex toasting to plot twists. But joy was fleeting. Samuel's cough deepened. A hack that rattled bones. Pneumonia, they said. Secondary infection. ICU lights buzzed like angry hornets. Benjamin held vigil, Alex pacing the hall. He'll pull through, Alex said. More plea than prophecy. But Samuel's eyes, once stormy seas, dulled to still waters. In the haze of 3 a.m., Samuel gripped Benjamin's hand. Promise me, don't let them win. The whispers, build it bigger. Shoo! Benjamin soothed, throat tight. Rest. We've got time. But time lied. Monitors wailed at dawn. Codes called, hands shoving Benjamin aside. Alex pulled him into the chapel, sterile and echoing. They knelt, not praying, queer men in a house of straight-laced saints, but raging. Why him? Benjamin whispered to the crucifix. Why now? Alex's arm around his shoulders was answer enough. Solidarity in the suck. Samuel stabilized, transferred to hospice. A sunlit suite overlooking the harbor. Spring bloomed outside, crocuses pushing through frost. Inside, conversations turned to endings. The foundation, Samuel rasped. Name it for us. Harper Ellis Haven. Benjamin nodded, pen flying over forms. Done. And Alex? He's family now. COO material. Samuel's smile was faint but fierce. Knew you'd see it. My boys. Evelyn visited once, perfumed frost in the warmth. This, interlude with the intern. Tasteless. Benjamin rose, blocking her view. Alex is saving what you tried to bury. Leave, Evelyn. Or join us. She left, but seeds of reconciliation sprouted later. Checks arriving anonymously, board votes shifting in their favor. As cherry blossoms peaked, Samuel rallied for a day trip. Inner Harbor, crab cakes steaming on paper plates. They laughed at tourists, Samuel's wheelchair a chariot. Best damn date, he declared, kissing Benjamin salty and sweet. That night, fever returned. Benjamin sang folk tunes, Dylan's raspy anthems, until Samuel slept. Alex watched from the door, eyes wet. He's lucky. We both are. Morning brought the call, he's gone. Peaceful, they said. In his sleep, hand clutching Benjamin's note. My anchor. Forever. Grief hit like a freight train, funeral orations, media circuses. Benjamin stood tall at the cathedral, same as their wedding, eulogizing. Samuel Ellis wasn't perfect, but his love, unyielding. Let's honor it by lifting others. But alone in the loft's echo he shattered. Plates smashed, sobs echoing off marble. Alex found him there, curled fetal. Let it out, he murmured, holding tight. No words needed, just presence. A bridge over the abyss. Whispers peaked post-burial. Harper inherits empire. Gold rush confirmed. Evelyn's camp fueled it. Probate battles looming. Benjamin ignored them, channeling fury into Haven's groundbreaking. A Brooklyn center for LGBTQ plus youth. Rainbow cornerstone gleaming. Yet betrayal's shadow lingered. Not Samuel's, but the world's. One rainy eve, a package arrived. Evelyn's handwriting. Inside, a letter and check, 6 figures and signed. You were never the digger, Benjamin. I was digging graves with my pride. Forgive an old fool. Build well. Tears blurred ink. Human after all. Summer sweltered in, turning New York into a pressure cooker of grief and grit. Benjamin threw himself into Haven's construction. Blueprints unrolled across the loft's dining table, calls to architects stretching into midnight. The site buzzed, steel beams rising like defiant spines, murals sketched by queer artists blooming on walls. A sanctuary, he told donors at Ribbon Cut Preview, voice steady despite the hollow in his gut, where stories like Samuel's and mine become blueprints for hope. Alex was indispensable, his Wharton polish translating to grant proposals that sang. They worked side by side, takeout containers piling like battle scars. Late nights bred confessions. Alex's ex, a Wall Street wolf who'd bailed at the first sign of drama. Benjamin's pre-Samuel flings, fleeting fires in Brooklyn bashes. "You make it sound poetic," Alex said once, over cold lo mein. "The hurt. It's fuel," Benjamin replied, clinking bottles. "Turns ache to art." But art couldn't fill the bed's empty half. Nights, Benjamin traced Samuel's pillow, inhaling faded cologne. Dreams tangled, Samuel laughing at galas, then fading to mist. He'd wake gasping, Alex's texts lighting the dark. "You okay? Coffee run at dawn?" Friendship deepened, edges blurring in vulnerability's fog. A July heatwave trapped them in the loft, AC humming defeat. Shirtless, sweat slick, they pored over budgets on the couch. Alex's laugh, rare, unguarded, cut through tension. "Remember Sam's kale phase? Nearly torched the kitchen." Benjamin chuckled, throat tight. "He was terrible. But mine." Silence stretched, heavy. Alex's hand brushed his, accidental, electric. They froze, eyes locking. "Ben, don't." Benjamin pulled back, heart skittering. "Not yet. Can't." Alex nodded, withdrawing like a tide. "Yeah, timing's a bitch." The moment passed, but ripples lingered. Evelyn's olive branch evolved. Lunches at Bergdorf's tea room, her barbs softened to queries. The center ambitious. Samuel would approve. Benjamin accepted the check publicly, crediting her in speeches. "Family's complicated," he'd say off mic. "But blood's thicker than ink. Not all mended." Tabloids unearthed dirt. Samuel's 90s indiscretions, painted as patterns. Serial heartbreakers' final fling? Benjamin sued for libel. Winning settlements funneled to Haven. Victory tours, Oprah sit-downs where he bared scars. Love's not linear. There's a map with detours. Samuel was my compass. Ratings soared. Invitations flooded. But spotlight scorched. At a glad gala, a tipsy socialite slurred. "Gold digger glow up? Huh? Sammy's ghost paying dividends." Benjamin's retort, sharp, viral, went meme. "Better a digger than a doubter. At least I unearthed truth." Alex cheered from the wings, arms slung casual. "My hero." Warmth bloomed, uncomplicated. Fall brought milestones. Haven's soft open, kids trickling in, runaways with haunted eyes, artists with fire. Benjamin mentored one, Jamie, a trans teen sketching superheroes. "You see me," Jamie said, hug fierce. Echoes of his own youth. But ghosts haunted holidays. Thanksgiving. Alex hosted, spread makeshift turkey from a food truck, pies from Magnolia. Evelyn arrived tentative, carving knife steady. Toasts clinked. To absence and those here. Her glance at Benjamin held. Regret, respect, progress. Christmas Eve. Snow blanketing the city. Benjamin visited Samuel's grave in Woodlawn. Marble simple, engraved beloved anchor. He laid a wreath, whispered updates. Haven's thriving. Miss your bad jokes. Wind carried tears away. Alex waited curbside, thermos steaming. Hot toddies. They drove to the loft, tree twinkling forlorn. Ornaments unpacked. Samuel's favorites? Glass orbs from Venice. "Help," Benjamin asked. They hung them slow, stories attached. A chipped star. Our first fight over politics. Made up under the tree. Alex listened, hand steadying a bauble. Proximity sparked. Breath mingling, fingers lingering. This time Benjamin didn't pull away. "Alex." "Yeah." Hope flickered, soft. "I'm ready. For whatever this is." Kiss tentative. tasting of cinnamon and caution. Not replacement, addition. A new chapter, penned in grief's ink. Winter thawed to spring, haven flourishing. Enrollments swelled. Partnerships bloomed. NYU for counseling, MoMA for exhibits. Benjamin's book deal landed. Unearthed. Love, loss, and legacy. Ghosted but soul-bared. Excerpts trended. Doubters silenced. Yet conflict brewed. Bored whispers. Alex's promotion too swift? Evelyn's camp stirred. Nepotism's new face. A leaked memo fabricated. Accused embezzlement. Press swarmed. Donors wavered. Benjamin confronted the board. Alex at his side. This is sabotage. Jealousy dressed as due diligence. Votes teetered. Evelyn, surprisingly, swayed them. My son trusted them. So do I. Crisis averted, but scars remained. That night, rooftop under stars, Benjamin vented. They'll never stop. The labels. Alex pulled him close. Then we rewrite them. Together. Summer circled back. Haven's first anniversary gala at the Met. Poetic justice. Benjamin emceed. Suit sharp. Heart fuller. Alex in the crowd, eyes proud. Evelyn toasted. To Benjamin. Not gold, but gold-hearted. Applause thundered. Later, slow dance under chandeliers. Benjamin and Alex, steps sinking. Think Sam's smiling? Alex murmured. Grinning like an idiot. Benjamin leaned in. Thanks for staying. Wouldn't miss it. But joy's underbelly stirred. A letter arrived. Anonymous, postmarked Boston. Samuel's truth wasn't all. Ask Alex about the night before the gala. Dread coiled. Confrontation loomed. Trust's fragile thread fraying. The letter burned a hole in Benjamin's pocket all week. Its creases worn from rereads. Ask Alex. What buried bone could unearth now, when scars were scabbing? Haven thrived. Summer camps for youth, Pride Float sponsored. But paranoia crept, turning allies suspect. He watched Alex closer. The lingering glance at his phone, the late meetings that smelled of cologne not his own. Finally, over rooftop beers as fireflies danced? Or were they drones? Manhattan's glow outshone them. Benjamin slid the letter across the Adirondack. Explain. Alex's face crumpled. Beer forgotten. Ben. Shit. He rubbed temples, exhaling smoke rings of regret. The night before the gala, Samuel called me over. Bad pain day. Needed. Someone to hold the fort while he broke. Broke how? Benjamin's voice was ice, cracking. Alex met his eyes, unflinching. He confessed everything. Not just the cancer, but regrets. The affairs early on. Before you. Said he was scared you'd bolt if you knew the full mess of him. Affairs. Plural. Benjamin's world tilted. Old wounds reopening. And you? Part of that mess. No. Alex's denial was fervent. Hands up. Listener. Ben. That's it. He cried. Ugly, snotty sobs about failing you. Ben thinks I'm the hero, he said. But I'm the villain in my own story. I swore silence. To protect that image you cherished. Protect. Benjamin stood, chair scraping. You let me grieve a ghost. Built this. Gesture encompassing the skyline. The life they'd forged. On half-truths. Alex rose, pleading. It was his dying wish. Mercy, not malice. And me? I fell for you in the fallout, the way you rose, Phoenix style. Didn't want to torch that. Betrayal's aftertaste soured. Samuel's secrets layered like onion skin, peeling to reveal rot. Benjamin stormed inside, door slamming echoes. Alone, he rifled drawers. Samuel's journal, entries cryptic now. Fear the truth will unmake us. Dated months before diagnosis. Days blurred to avoidance, texts curt, meetings proxy. Haven suffered. Alex's ideas sidelined, energy dimmed. Youth noticed. Jamie cornered him in the art room. You okay, Mr. B? Looks like you swallowed a storm. Kid stuff, Benjamin deflected. But Jamie's hug lingered. Storms pass. Draw it out. He did sketches furious. Shattered rings, shadowed figures. Catharsis, raw. Evelyn sensed the rift, inviting tea at the plaza. Trouble in paradise? Her tone was silk over steel. Benjamin sipped Earl Grey, guarded. Family business. She arched a brow. Darling, I've buried one mess. Don't unearth another. Pausing softer. Samuel was flawed, terribly, but his love for you, unflawed. Don't let ghosts rob your now. Her words pierced Evelyn, an unlikely oracle. He left with a tentative truce. Help me bridge it? She nodded. For him, reconciliation brewed slow. Alex's apology arrived via courier. A leather-bound sketchbook, pages filled with Haven visions, expansions, murals. Note clipped, I'm flawed too, but fighting for us. Your move. Benjamin's move. A late-night knock on Alex's Murray Hill walk-up. Door opened to rumpled hair, hopeful eyes. Talk, Benjamin asked. Always. They walked the pre-dawn streets, confessions unspooling. Alex admitted envy. Samuel's ease with vulnerability, the life he'd glimpsed. Made me want what you had. Then you. Benjamin halted under a street lamp. Haloed. I want it too, but no pedestals. We're both diggers. Unearthing each other, warts and all. Kiss under sodium light. Deeper, defined. Not rebound, rebirth. Fall fortified them. Haven's expansion funded. Evelyn chairing a gala committee. Whispers faded. Headlines shifted. Harper's Haven. A legacy of love. But legacy tested in fire. Winter storm dumped snow, stranding a Haven kid. Runaway from Jersey, frostbitten and fierce. Benjamin drove through blizzards, Alex navigating. Our wait. Hot cocoa shared. Families chosen. The kid muttered, thawed, echoed their own. Christmas. Joint tree trimming. Evelyn contributing heirloom ornaments. Toasts warmer, stories overlapping. Spring bloom scandals elsewhere. Evelyn's board rival indicted for fraud, dragging Ellis Pharma shadows. Benjamin testified, unflappable, integrity over inheritance. Vindication sweet, but Pyrrhic. Post-trial, Alex proposed formally, not ring but partnership. Build with me? Not just Haven. All of it. Benjamin's yes sealed with salt-kissed lips. Brooklyn Bridge backdrop. Summer solstice. Haven's grand opening. Rainbow ribbons unfurled. Crowds swelled. Celebrities, survivors. Benjamin spoke. We gather not in loss, but light. Samuel taught me love endures. Through betrayal, breakthrough. To those called diggers, doubters, dig deeper. Truth's the real gold. Applause roared. Evelyn teared up, Alex's hand in his steady. Yet, in quiet afterglow, a final letter. Samuel's will, unsealed provision. To Ben, forgive my shadows. To Alex, guard his light. Love always. Tears fell, healing. No more secrets, just stories shared. Years folded like origami birds. Each crease a memory etched deeper. By 2030, Harper Ellis Haven stood as a beacon. Not just one Brooklyn brownstone, but a network. Satellites in Philly, Chicago, even a virtual arm for rural queers. Benjamin, at 38, wore silver at his temples like badges. His graphic tees traded for blazers that hid the ink of old tattoos. Lectures booked solid. TED stages, Ivy halls, where he'd weave Samuel's story with Alex's loyalty, his own grit. Humanity's not imperfection, he'd say, voice gravel honey from late nights. It's in the messy mend. Alex evolved beside him. 34 now, laugh lines framing those quartz eyes. COO turned co-director, his Wharton edge softened by shelter runs, youth mentorships. They married quiet. Central Park gazebo, dawn light gilding vows. Lila from Pittsburgh officiated. Evelyn matron with a corsage hiding tears. Jamie, grown and tattooed, best man with a speech that slayed. You two? Proof love's not a solo gig. Honeymoon. Road trip. Route 66 Redux. Samuel's dream deferred. Diners greasy. Motels neon lit. Hands intertwined over gear shifts. This? Alex murmured in a Grand Canyon tent. Stars wheeling above. Is the gold. Back home. Life layered. Haven's crises. Funding dips. Policy wars. But triumphs too. A kid they sponsored. Trans surgeon now. Dedicating her TED Talk to Benjamin. You dug me out. Evelyn, softened to ally, funded scholarships in Samuel's name. Her brunches now potlucks with Haven alums. Doubts? Faded to footnotes. Tabloids moved on. Gold digger memes archived in internet graveyards. But personal hauntings lingered. Anniversaries, where Benjamin visited Woodlawn, Alex joining silent. He'd like you, Benjamin said once, crocuses nodding. He made you, Alex replied. That's enough. Conflict resurfaced in waves. A 2032 board coup, Evelyn's old rival's protege gunning for control. Whispers revived, Harper's empire. Built on Ellis bones. Benjamin and Alex countered fierce. Audits transparent, youth testimonials viral. Rally at Haven. We're not inheriting, we're innovating. Queer futures, not fortunes. Crowd chanted, storming the vote. Victory parade. Pride flags waving. Evelyn marching arm in arm. By Kitsch brushed close. Alex's scare, benign lump, but echoes of Samuel's siege. Hospital waits reversed. Benjamin holding, whispering, not today. We've got stories left. Clearance brought clarity. Therapy joint. Unpacking layers. Benjamin's abandonment scars. Alex's privilege guilt. We're enough, therapists affirmed. They believed. Building rituals. Weekly sketches, shared journals. By 2035, Haven Global, London Outpost, Toronto Ties. Benjamin's book sequel. Revealed. Truths That Bind. Bestseller with foreword by Jamie. Galas glittered, but home anchored. Loft renovated. Samuel's study a Haven library. Books dog-eared, photos framed. Evelyn's decline came gentle. Parkinson's, slow steel. Benjamin visited weekly, reading her society pages ironic. You were right, she confessed one frail afternoon. About everything. Thank you for forgiving. Family, he said, squeezing arthritic hand. Her passing, quiet, surrounded. Eulogy his, Evelyn Ellis. Late bloomer, fierce to the end. Grief communal, Alex's shoulder steady. Haven youth sending cards. Legacy crystallized in smalls. A Haven wedding, couple echoing their vows. Jamie's clinic opening, plaque. For Ben and Alex, diggers of dreams. One autumn eve, rooftop same as confessions past. Benjamin proposed expansion. Retire? Travel. Write the next chapter. Alex grinned, wine raised. Only if it's us. All the way. They traveled. Amalfi Cliffs, Tokyo Neon, Pittsburgh roots revisited. Lila's Diner, stories swapped. Journals filled. Not polished prose, but raw hearts. Final hook. A letter yellowed Samuel's from chemo haze. If you're reading this, I'm gone. But no, you were never the digger, Ben. You unearthed me. Love Alex for me. Let him see your shine. Yours eternally. Read aloud by firelight. Tears communal. He knew, Alex whispered. He always did. In the end, not by kitsch but quiet cohow. Love's not a straight line, but a constellation. Points of pain, pleasure, persistence. Benjamin and Alex, stars aligned, dug on. Truth their shovel, humanity the vein. New York hummed below, indifferent witness. But in their constellation, light endured golden, unyielding.